Yee! I knew you were here. I could smell your cooking from way out there. Snacking on grilled fish again, are you? Aren't you excited for dinner tonight? The auntie next door taught me how to make garlic noodles yesterday. I won't mess it up this time. You don't need to prepare my portion. Guess I'll have it all to myself then. Did you come running to me just to talk about dinner? Oh, right, the flower. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Nine Souls. Honestly, my game of the year pick. If anything, I would call this one of it literally became my second favorite game of all time on the first playthrough. You need to understand just how much I appreciate this game. Not only as a Metroidvania, but just as a thematic storytelling game in general. It is insane how much I grew to love this game in just a short span of time. Its art style, its world building, its storytelling, its setting, etc., all of it just amounts to one amazing, self-described Tau punk experience, and what that means we'll get into shortly. For now, though, let's go ahead and start our adventure. You can see that we already have the basic trappings of the Metroidvania. You have the pit that requires that you know how to jump to get out of it. We got ourselves a basic attack, which we can execute whenever we want. This game introduces the ability to climb up ledges, which is very, very interesting, considering, most Metroidvanias don't typically care if you miss the jump. You either make it or you don't. They don't normally give you this kind of leeway. We can climb up ropes, and over here, we have a lore spot. Dead person note. Crooked words etched into the ground. I found the exit, but there's no way to go back. This messy note seems like the last words of the deceased before they passed away. What a grim fate. To only make it a couple steps into into this wonderful game. We have a 3-hit combo that we can execute, another lore spot actually. Camp Scroll, Schwan Scroll story. One day, the noble swordsman passed by a stone. Suddenly someone jumped out from the stone and turned out to be a great hero. The handwriting is quite neat for something written by a child. In the bottom left corner there's a note stating that this is the 63rd episode. Jeez. Yeah, Schwan's a bit of a writer. I thought there'd be some in the Forbidden Cave, but I haven't seen a single one. Where are you, Crimson Hibiscus? Crimson Hibiscus? Is that the flower you've been fussing about? Yeah, that's the flower they use for the ceremony. Yeah, that's the flower they use for the ceremony. According to the shaman, the bigger they are... There's one right up there. Wow, you're right, but I'm not sure I can even climb up that high. My goodness gracious, a mix of hand-drawn and tweening animated boar. He's tweening over the flower. Hey, how did boar get all the way up there? Aw, it snatched the flower away. Oh well, it probably needs it more than I do. It's about to get dark. Let's head back to the village. I'll go look somewhere else next time. I'll get that flower for you. It's fine, you really don't have to. Are you really gonna go get it? Okay, I'll wait here for you. Be careful not to get hurt. And now begins our first test of skill. Actually, what happens if I just try and leave? Okay, nothing. Never mind. Alright, double check with Swan. That boar just zipped out of sight. Think you can catch up to it? Oh, I'm pretty confident in my abilities. Anyways, another thing this game introduces is the ability to wall run on any green labeled surfaces. Yep, we have I mean, to be fair, it could have been yellow. It could have gone more video gamey. Over to the left, we can see the classic wall that can only be broken from one side, very classy, and also the ability to grappling hook. Yes, it has a built-in grappling hook at the start. Let it be known that any good video game should start with a built-in grappling hook at the start. And also, here is our first enemy. None of the enemies are given a name, and there is no in-game bestiary. However, the Wikipedia for Nine Souls lists these guys as dragon snakes, I think. Google Translate at least calls them dragon snakes. Anyways, Particularly the combat in this game is it starts out as a very simple just press the button and hit them, and whenever you see that white flash, that means you want to go ahead and dodge out of the way. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this. The main way in this instance is just jumping to avoid them. Anyways, there's the boar right over there, but first off, I just want to show that by heading to the left, you can see that there is another wall that, well, I mean, it's taking damage, but it's probably not actually going to break until we have an ability later. So, tell you what, how about instead we just go after the boar? Fun fact, the boar will never attack you back, and in fact, it kind of just sits there and waits for you to hit it. So, yeah, just die. And it's surprisingly tanky for being the second thing you see in the game and never actually hitting back. And anyways, we got a crimson hibiscus. These flowers appear around Peach Blossom Village and are used by the villagers as a decoration for the ceremony. Legend has it that the harvest will be bountiful if the ceremony proves successful. While that hasn't been proven, everyone gets more food anyways. We can go ahead and break that other-sided wall and head back to Schwan. By the way, take a moment to appreciate the scenery in this area. The distinct color palette, the art style, it's all just, oh my gosh. That boar was huge, I hope you didn't get hurt. Don't push yourself too hard. It was only a year ago when you still needed my help to walk, remember? Here. Wow, you really got it for me! It's even prettier up close. Given time, even the prettiest flowers will wilt. That's okay, at least we're here to see it, even if it won't be for long. I don't really see the meaning behind all this. But you still went out of your way to help me retrieve it. Thanks, you. Well, we should head back. We'll be in trouble if they find us here. You may not particularly see it right now, but trust me when I say that this game's story is very, very well written. Like, way more thematically involved than I ever expected it to be. Wow, the festival market is so lively. Look, every household has dry meat, and someone's even brewing wine. We had 2 bountiful harvests for the past 2 years in a row since you've arrived. You're pretty much the village's official good luck charm. They're just coincidences. Aw, don't say that. When you helped the elders with the rat infestation, we were all talking about how fortunate we are to have you around. Also, praise be to the souls for blessing Peach Blossom Village and ensuring that we're all fed and clothed. If there's nothing else I need to do, I'm going back to dry the fish. Stay for a bit. You should take the chance to check out the stalls and mingle with everyone. Leave the fish to me. Catch you later. Welcome to Peach Blossom Village, home of the humans. With the sunrise's grace comes sunsets high, every day the cherished sky. Schwan's been buzzing with energy as of late. Wait, actually, oh wait, no, hold up, there is new dialogue over here. I know, right? Remember how glum he used to look when his parents left? But that guy he hangs out with, he's a bit of an oddball. Okay, I'm sorry, I never usually stick around to see the dialogue progress that much. Okay, that's actually beautiful. Alright, what's happening over here? In the old days, when our ancestors lived in harsh wilderness, they had to endure the bitter cold and onslaught of savage predators. Unable to bear watching us humans suffer, the 10 merciful souls descended from the heavens. At first some were ignorant and raised their swords towards the souls. Those fools were met with divine retribution and their bones were ground into dust. Those who were pious and reverent followed the souls to the land outside the 99 heavens, a paradise where everyone could prosper. The all-knowing and all-powerful souls bestowed their wisdom upon us, teaching us about the truth of all things. When the peaches ripen for harvest, the souls will select several of us for a great privilege. Those fortunate enough to be chosen will live the rest of their lives among the divine souls. Be good children, listen, follow, and believe, and you may also be chosen one day. Hey, so not to be that guy, but how come we're messing around with grappling hooks, but these guys are still living in huts? What the hell are you looking at? Beat it! I don't want any part in this dumb festival. I didn't say anything. Trust me, that look in your eyes told me plenty. Ugh, curse this damn ceremony. One day I'll show everyone what's really... Never mind, you wouldn't get it. All this nonsense is making my wine go sour. Last year my daughter was one of the lucky few to be chosen. What a blessing. I wonder what it's like to live with the gods. Okay, there we go. I think that might actually be the end of it. You might notice that for every major character, it gives you a little bio. I am actively avoiding looking into that right now for spoiler reasons.
No silent.
You're back. Did you see anything interesting? I cleaned out that crimson hibiscus you got me earlier. I'm gonna sew it onto my clothing later. It's not a rule, but those who are chosen usually wear a flower. It makes you look a lot cooler when standing up there. Is this something to be happy about? Of course. I'll be seeing my mom and dad soon. I wonder if they'll notice I've grown taller. Let's head inside. I'm hungry. Yee, I'll be leaving in a few days. Will you make sure to eat properly when you're on your own? Remember, the rice is stored in the bin and the fruits on the table should be eaten before it dries out. Stop worrying.
Ayo.
Well, don't forget, okay? I probably won't be able to send letters back to you once I'm living with the souls, you know. It's sad to think I won't have anyone to bicker with anymore. Aren't you scared? I'm going somewhere I've never been before. Of course I'm a bit scared. If you're scared, then don't go. I have to. Being chosen by the souls is a blessing. Besides, I've always had this feeling that one day I'd have to part ways with you, Yi. Nothing's predetermined. You make your own destiny. Don't get caught up in superstition. You might be right, but parting isn't necessarily a bad thing. I ran to the Forbidden Cave for the first time when Mom and Dad left. That's where I met you. Who would have thought that playing a flute would make someone pop out of that stone? If you say so. But since I'm leaving soon, can you grant me one request before the ceremony? What is it? That story you were telling me about the man fighting the flood. Tell me how it ends. Did he make it home? He didn't die, did he? Okay. Where did we leave off? He journeyed over the mountains and rivers. Lord Yi, greetings from your humble servant. I was afraid you would lose track of time, so I called to remind you. If you skip out on tonight, you will have to wait another 2 years for the next harvest. I know. How's the security at the Apeman facility? Okay. The system indicates they are currently on low alert status. There are only a handful of guards on patrol. Please excuse my concern, but if alarms are triggered, the situation may become untenable. By the way, do you have your Mystic Nymph on you? I have it with me, but it won't fly. Only parts of it are in working order. It's been too long since I recharged it. That is a pity. If it had enough power, you could make use of the Mystic Nymph scout mode for reconnaissance. Your body has just made a full recovery after all, so it might be best to not throw caution to the wind. It wouldn't be too hard to just leave a trail of bloodshed. Certainly. Your humble servant has never doubted your martial prowess, Lord Yi. Proceed as you wish, and may fortune favor you. Hey, freak! Finally showing your true colors, eh? I could see everything you were doing. You were seeing things. You think you can fool me with that stupid hat? You take me for one of those morons over there? When a man talks to himself, he's not talking to those... Is he not talking to those who are watching? Watching? Don't think I haven't noticed. I've seen those bizarre statues glow in the middle of the night. Whenever I cover them up with cloth, a mysterious wind blows them away. I knew the truth from the very beginning. Those statues are possessed by demons. Demons don't exist. They're merely delusions of fools. Demons are afoot, and that's that. They're kind that eats people, too. This place isn't a paradise. There are no gods, and I sure as hell don't know who came up with all that mumbo-jumbo anyways. Admit it. You probably know a thing or two about all this. Fine, keep your secrets. I'll prove I'm right in front of everyone's faces one day. Don't bother me again. What a time for celebration, right? Wow, firecrackers. Did they have firecrackers back in whatever time this is supposed to be, Tao era. Shenong sure has an active imagination lately. All that loneliness has made him go a bit kooky. Is this like a two-person gossip, or is this no? Okay, that's just one. I was gonna say, well, I mean, I guess this is like, I don't know, is this around the invention of gunpowder? Those who are chosen can go live with the gods. Well, at least they're having fun. The peaches have blossomed beautifully this year. Thank the gods for blessing our peach blossom village. Anyways, we should probably go check out what that ceremony is about. The shaman of Peach Blossom Village hereby receives your decree. In accordance with the soul's orders, we humbly pay respects to the flying throne. Thanks for taking care of me these past 2 years, Yi. Time for me to go. And now I get to introduce you to one of the coolest things you can do in this game's combat system. Step 1, attach a talisman. And make it explode. Oh God, spare us from your wrath. What's happening, Yi? I must go now. Take good care of yourself. What are you saying? Then who are you? Wait, I don't understand. What was that? Why are you... Wait, where are you going, Yi? Can I just say that was probably my favorite opener to any game I have ever watched. Legitimately, that was such a strong opener for me seeing it the first time. It's so impactful, like you have no idea. Oh my gosh, this game is gonna be a wild ride. Anyways, immediately heading off to the right, I can now give you the basic bread and butter of the combat system. Step 1, parry any attacks. Most attacks will be given off by a little white flash, but by simply pressing right trigger, you can parry it. And when you parry something, it lights up a little icon at the top left of the HUD that's symbolized by the little yin-yang symbol called Chi, and then you hold to attach a talisman and they die instantly. The sickness is not normally covered by that, but don't worry, we'll get into that later. Anyways, we need to heal off a bit of damage that we just took from that sickness, so let's go ahead and smoke some opium, baby! Yep, opium for the win. Listen, Snake has his smokes, Yi has pure opium. I love to see it. Anyways, we can go ahead and settle down into this root node. here basically acts as as simultaneously a save system and a place to restore your health. We can also look at all of the skills that we have. This includes an Immortal Dash, which is basically just a little way to make yourself invincible temporarily, as well as acting as a basic dash. The Chi Blast, Triple Slash, and our Parry. Additionally, by heading over to Status, we can take a look at both our spell style, which is currently Chi Blast. We can normally hold up to 3 Chi charges, but we need to actually unlock those first, as well as being able to deal internal damage, which I can get to later, and our Medicine Pipe, which, by pressing up, we can use to restore health. They get instantly refilled at every single root node, which we're currently at one of those. And you can see that we have 2 slots for it. However, we can also press the map button once we're out of that to go look at the actual map itself, where we can see the name of this place is the Apeman Facility. Wonderful name. First up, as can obviously be spotted, we have an enemy right in front of us. This guy is just a regular swordsman. Yeah, I just killed him before he could even attack back, but basically, you use your Triple Slash as your main method of dealing damage to enemies, and if you ever see them attack with a little white flash, you simply hit the counter button. Here we can also see the use of the Immortal Dash, which is to dash through lasers. However, you can also dash through literally everything in the game. The only requirement is that you need to be on the ground to use it, and you will phase through literally everything. It is a very, very good dodge option. Anyways, let's come over here and take a look at what this does. I hope that's chicken. Okay, yeah, that's not chicken. Bloody Crimson Hibiscus. A crimson hibiscus soaked with a villager's blood. 8 men are harvested at regular intervals in the livestock area, where their bodies are then dismembered and sorted. Flowers and the clothes are usually mixed in with the rest of the useless parts and disposed of. Oh, dear. Guys, is he racist? Putting those implications behind us, we got another new type of enemy. Well, technically not a new type of enemy, it's just a different variant of the red guy, which is basically just a crossbow-wielding archer. These guys actually have the least HP of all the variants, and in fact, it literally only takes 1 Triple Slash to kill them no matter what. But I would recommend using them as practice to be able to get your timings down for projectiles, because typically you're going to want to target them first, since the less range an enemy has on you, the less deadly it will be towards you in the long run. And I'll use this situation right here to demonstrate it. I'm going to attack the guy on the left, while the other guy on the right is trying to face me. If I had not parried that, I probably would have taken a hit. Additionally, in order to parry something, you do need to be facing it. You can't simply, you can't just, press the parry button and expect to free iframes or whatever. You need to actually be facing in the direction of whatever is attacking you. And then finally, I was trying to do a bit of an air dodge there. I didn't really get the chance to. Here, I'm going to drop behind this guy because it lets me get a free Triple Slash in to begin with and finish him off without actually having to fight him. And now here is going to be our first little addition of challenge, our first little spice to this guy. This is an elite red soldier, specifically the elite swordsman. His red attacks are completely unblockable. You need to dash through them, otherwise they will hit you, and they do deal a pretty decent chunk of damage. He also swings his sword twice, however sometimes he can do a single sword slash, so be careful about that one. How do you practice? You want to know what my honest... well, first off, I also dismissed the fact that we just got a treasure chest right there, but then second off, you want to know what my honest recommendation is for learning how to practice this game? Well, first off, I have 2 things. Number 1 is you could additionally have a second save file that's in story mode, because the game actually gives you 2 options if you just want to experience the story for yourself and not really deal with the whole some enemies and mini bosses can kill you in 2 hits or 1 combo. Yeah, you can give yourself that option, but additionally, I'd recommend just letting the enemy hit you. Just let them hit you. Oh, hey, look, I got the air dodge right there, or air thing. Anyways, just, literally just let them hit you, because you want to know what your punishment is for dying? Your punishment is literally nothing. You will simply respawn back at the beginning. Except for the first time that you die. This time is actually going to be a little bit different from all the other ones. Man, this is one hell of a cyber heaven. using this body as a medium to dissipate energy. Can that actually work? And yeah, believe it or not, this area is completely missable. It only shows up if you die during the first area in the game, and acts as an extra tutorial to get you used to live combat. Next, use a talisman to inject chi into your target. Slow and steady wins the race. And you can still fall into the pits, but also any damage that you take will be completely and instantly healed off, so it's not actually possible to die here. Everything needs to coalesce at once and be impeccably timed. And here's your final challenge, getting to fight one of these weird Tau guys. I'm not really sure what to call these guys. Tau Disciples? Yeah, let's go with Tau Disciples. These guys will initiate the strategy of teleports behind you and attempts to attack. They are probably the best example of you should probably be facing in the direction of the enemy before you parry them. Another addition that I would add to this is, well, I mean, just taking your time to learn what the timing for each enemy is. Every enemy has a slightly different timing, but typically, the moment you hear a little click, or you see a white flash, or anything like that, that's your moment to strike. Become flowing water and allow stillness to overcome motion. Splendid. At the beginning of the game, because we don't have that many options for damage dealing, it really is just going to be giving yourself a bit of patience and restraint when it comes to using your triple slash, because later we will be able to make some pretty insane builds that make the triple slash kind of irrelevant in combat altogether. Despite the limited versatility in this game, there are a bunch of different ways that you can build yourself in a ton of creative different ways. Ton of creative ways. And now that I've had my first death, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to walk back. Damn it. Something that I do want to talk about in regards to the Chi Blast is internal damage. As you can see, I'm deliberately letting go of right trigger to apply the talisman, but not actually finishing him. When you apply Chi, you deal internal damage. The way that internal damage works for enemies is that it only registers if that it's still technically HP and it won't kill them. However, if you use a Chi Blast, it will not only deal damage to them, but it will also take away all of their internal HP as well. That's added on top of it. Internal damage for Yi himself, though, works a little bit differently. Instead, if you take internal damage, it is healed off slowly over time, as opposed to hard damage, which we currently have some right now. It just means that you're not getting that HP back unless you heal or go to a save station. Additionally, you can see that I sort of lost all of that money that I just got. Well, this guy is holding on to it right now. This is the second thing that you might be at risk of losing, but if it's your first playthrough, I would not worry too much about money, unless it is, because there are plenty of places where you can go and grind for it. Basically, yes, all of Yi's experience and Jin fall on the battlefield. When it says experience, it does not mean that you can lose levels to this. Only the build up to the current level that you can have now. And yeah, here we have our last variant, which is the Spear Grunt. Just go and take care of him. And one thing that I did kind of want to stop and mention, though, this game has an amazing sense of visual storytelling. Look at the background. I assume that you guys have been looking at the background already, but look at how many crimson hibiscuses there are. And these things are just discarded after every sort of village ceremony. That is, it immediately sets the tone of the game. The game does, listen, people complain about how much dialogue there is in this game, and I will give it some credence that there are spots where they definitely tell more than they show. I will, however, say, though, this game's visual storytelling is off the charts. Every room has something new to look at, and I think that's always very, very cool in a video game. You can see that by hacking this platform and by playing a little hacking minigame, you can actually go all the way back to the beginning, or well, towards the beginning. So if you want to go re-heal real quickly, now would be a good opportunity too. We can drop down here and we can see that, yep, look at that statue. Remember how that Shenong guy was talking about how he saw them glowing at night? Yep, they are cameras. Not that any of these guys would know what cameras are, you know? They're used for live monitoring the ape men, as they are calling them, goodness gracious. Ape-men surveillance footage. Ape-men are capable of abstract thinking even prior to undergoing transmutation. Individuals that reject group living often exhibit violent behaviors. Caution is advised when dealing with. The ape-men originate from the pale blue planet, which was first discovered in deep space observation reports from the Hautian Sphere. They are also one of few forms of intelligent life in the celestial sphere. Very interesting the different kinds of terminology that this game uses for it. Love the world building and the distinctions between the two races. Warning, warning, unstable activity in livestock area. Perimeter breach by living organism detected. We are in trouble, my lord. Your destruction of the Harvester earlier triggered a system-wide alert. To make matters worse, the 9 souls could now be awakened even earlier. Doesn't matter. My actions were bound to draw attention sooner or later. I prepared for the worst. Supposing that is true, why then did you intervene so early? That wasn't part of the plan. Was it for the ape-man child? Don't question my judgment, just do your job. Of course. Please forgive my apprehension. In any case, please reach the predetermined safe zone as swiftly as possible. Exercise extreme caution. So, yep, looks like we're gonna be trying to make our way towards the safe zone. Ooh, we have a sign pointing towards the next save point. That's actually very convenient for us. Anyways, continuing onwards, we can go ahead and see that we use a grappling hook, deflect, kill this guy, kill, boom, we're done. We're actually very close to a level up, so I think we might be 1 or 2 more kills away from that. Luckily, here's 3 kills in a mandatory fight room. Immediately gonna grappling hook up here and take out this guy because he's the easiest and has the most range. Gonna go for the not elite soldier, not elite swordsman. Here's gonna be trying. Oh, nope, no. Okay. Kill him, and now I can just focus on the one guy. When dealing with multiple enemies, it is very, very easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you need to press the parry button multiple times in succession to different patterns. 9 Souls' combat is at its absolute best when it is a 1v1. Other times, when having to face multiple enemies, it's a bit of a struggle. Over here, we have a new type of enemy. I believe these are just larva crawlers? I'm really not really sure what they're supposed to be, but anyways, that one was enough to actually get us a level up. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the menu real quick just to show you what we can get. Our current options are Chi Boost, which gives us an extra Chi charge that we can have permanently, Swift Runner, which lets us move faster, Shadow Strike, which increases damage attacking from an enemy behind, and Bullet Deflect, which is, well, it's pretty obvious. Unfortunately, attempting to apply any of them right now, it does not work. Yep, we need to walk all the way back to the root node really quickly. Luckily, it's only like a couple rooms away, big open areas. That's another thing that I kind of appreciate about this game. The fact, instead of having like multiple small rooms, it just has a couple of really big ones. Ultimately, though, having taken into consideration the 4 different options we have, I'm personally going to go with Shadow Strike because this allows us to one-shot a couple of enemies that we normally wouldn't be able to. You could, honestly, if it's your first time, go for the extra Chi charge, because that does equate to more damage from the Chi explosions. I, however, would prefer to just go for Shadow Strike first, since I prefer being able to take care of enemies instantly, and at least for right now, it's going to be a bit useful, although I would recommend that if it's your first time to go for the extra Chi slot, because you are going to have to deal with something pretty interesting in the coming room. Let's go and take care of him. Here we have a new enemy type. This is the Flying Drone. It tries to run into you and explode. You can technically kill it manually by just attacking it with a sword. I would not recommend it. Oh gosh, I'm already out of uses. I could go back if I wanted to, but then I need to refight all the enemies. I think I should be fine. And here, I get to demonstrate Shadow Strike. You can see that it does that extra big slash, and normally that wouldn't mean much, but it can one-shot the spear guys, which is interesting because that not only saves us time in combat, but it also means that we don't need to focus as much on one enemy. Also, I'm going to grab this treasure chest. You just slash to break it and get 54 Jin instantly. One important note about Shadow Slash. You cannot have the enemy aggroed. If the enemy is already aggroed onto you, you won't get... Yeah, sorry about that. Was just showing what happens when you make contact with the electrified floor. When the enemy's already aggroed onto you, you can't get the backstab anymore. In order to get the backstab, they have to be facing away from you, and they have to have not noticed you. Those are the 2 ways that you can guarantee that you get it. So sometimes that'll mean waiting in the wings, and also, we got a basic component. Widely used in processors for guards and various defenses, the amount of Jin used equates to how valuable it is. I'll tell you about the purpose of this one later. For now, let's just go ahead and use this save point. Definitely make sure that you use this, as we will be getting into something pretty important in just a sec. Anyways, from here, we're gonna go ahead and head... Actually, let me show you what's over on the left real quick. Heading downwards, we can see that it's a locked door. Yep, just telling you that you can come back here later. But for now, though... we've got a little bit of an extra room to fight through. I'm gonna go and try and take this guy out. Doesn't really work because Shadow Strike does not one-shot the elite soldiers. We'll have to wait until later for that, unfortunately. But I will go ahead and take out that archer. And now coming over here is I'm going to show you the value of patience. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for the guards to team up like that and one-shot them both. That should hopefully explain the basics of good positioning in combat. Attempting to head over to the left. Yeah, we can't really do anything with that. And heading over to the right, we have what is actually a free health boost. Yeah, these little stations will fully refill your health, including opium hits. And here we have probably one of the biggest progression gates in the entire game. This is Red Tiger Elite by Chang. I'm hopefully not butchering the pronunciation of that name. This guy has 3 attacks. He will either swing rapidly, use a red attack that's unblockable, or he will do a double swing like this, which moves him forward a lot. You are probably going to die here a lot if this is your first time playing it. If you have the double chi slots, you might be able to take this guy down a little bit faster. As for me, I just wanted to show that this guy is at least somewhat possible with what we've got now at just like a basic setup. You can not only dash behind him, but you can also use your, oh gosh, you can use the talisman to basically get behind him, to avoid some of his attacks, but I would be careful about when you use it because he does have the ability to turn around on the dime, especially during his triple and double attacks. But he is immune from turning around during his overhead swing red attack. So we're just going to use our triple attack to do some shift damage. We're mostly going to be focusing on getting to the talisman because learning the pattern is far more important than just being able to kill the boss. Typically, you want to be playing reactionary to what the enemy is doing rather than aggressively. Not to say that aggressive playstyles are bad or anything, but still, we want to just be careful about that. And come on, there we go. And for our troubles of defeating the first boss, we get the Stasis Jade. Attaching a talisman will temporarily immobilize the enemy. Time immobilized will vary depending on the enemy. This is a very, very, very good Jade Stone. Jade Stones basically act as the charm system of this game, or one might say like an equipable upgrade. This one costs 2 slots to equip. Unfortunately, we can't actually use it yet. We gotta make it to HQ first. Our HP station still has not recharged. Don't worry, it recharges if you either leave the room or go to a save point. But anyways, luckily having done that first, let's go ahead and head to the only other floor we can, the new Kunlun Central Facility. Whoa, that is a weird looking tree. Cotton candy corruption thingy. Love it. You really thought that was the only funny-looking tree in the area? My lord, I sense that you have made it safely to the council district. My worries were indeed unwarranted. Fusang seems to be flourishing more than ever. This is the Fusang, otherwise known as the Primordial Roots, the main energy source of New Kunlun. Quite spectacular, isn't it? The caretaker of all Solarians has never stopped growing since your departure. What impact will this have? Rest assured, all impacts rest within an acceptable range of possibilities. That being said, this only further demonstrates the perfection of the mechanisms you designed. The roots are very accustomed to their current environment. None of that matters anymore, so long as it doesn't get in the way. I need to reach the council code at the root pinnacle so we can rebuild order and punish those criminals. Forgive my impudence, but access to the Council Code requires the possession of all of the soul seals. You will need to snatch them from the other 9 souls, who will certainly not give them up without a fight. If they've got a problem with that, I'll just shut them up for good. As you are probably aware, my calculations predict that there will be a treacherous road to go down, but regardless, time is of the essence. Please make your way to our predetermined safe zone. I love when they put 3D in my 2D video games. It looks so cool. Oh my gosh, this entire environment is just the best. We happen to be right next to the predetermined safe zone, so how about we go in and figure out some more info about what's going on in this crazy place.